There is one truth about attraction that most men spend years trying to understand but never fully grasp. They believe women become deeply attached because of appearance, wealth, or social status. While those things may attract attention, they rarely create lasting emotional desire. What truly leaves a lasting impression is how a man makes a woman feel whenever she's around him. That emotional experience is what separates a man she casually remembers from one she struggles to forget. Many men spend their time chasing approval, trying harder every time interest fades. But the more they force attraction, the faster it disappears. The real shift happens when you understand the psychology behind emotional connection. This isn't about tricks, manipulation, or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about understanding natural human behavior and why certain interactions leave a much deeper impact than others. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some men effortlessly attract genuine interest while others are quickly forgotten after a few conversations. The difference isn't luck. It isn't magic either. It comes from understanding emotional dynamics that most people completely overlook. Once you recognize these principles, you'll approach relationships with greater confidence, stronger communication, and a completely different mindset. Let's begin with one of the most powerful foundations of attraction. Every person wants to feel understood, but for many women, feeling genuinely seen creates an emotional connection that goes far beyond physical attraction. That is where everything truly begins. The first principle is surprisingly simple, yet very few men truly practice it. If you want to leave a lasting impression on a woman, make her feel genuinely understood. That goes far beyond hearing her words. It means giving her your full attention without constantly thinking about what you'll say next or trying to impress her. Most people listen just enough to respond. Very few listen to truly understand, and women notice that difference almost immediately. When your attention is divided, whether by your phone, your surroundings, or your own thoughts, it creates emotional distance. But when you're fully present, something changes. Your calm focus communicates that she's worth listening to, and that her thoughts actually matter. That feeling is surprisingly rare in today's world, where distractions constantly compete for our attention. Simple habits make a big difference. Maintain relaxed eye contact. Ask thoughtful follow-up questions instead of changing the subject. Remember small details she shared during previous conversations. These actions demonstrate genuine interest without needing dramatic gestures. Most importantly, this should never become a performance or a strategy designed to get a particular result. Authenticity cannot be faked for long. If your curiosity is real, your conversations become deeper, your connection becomes stronger, and she naturally feels more comfortable opening up around you. When someone consistently feels heard, respected, and emotionally understood, they begin to associate those positive feelings with the person who created them. That is one of the strongest foundations any meaningful relationship can be built upon. Now let's move to another principle that quietly shapes attraction more than most people realize. Human beings naturally appreciate what requires genuine investment. This isn't about playing games or pretending to be unavailable. It's about living a life with enough purpose that your happiness doesn't depend on another person's constant attention. One of the biggest mistakes many men make is becoming available every moment of the day. They reply instantly to every message, rearrange their schedules without hesitation, and make a woman the center of their world before a real connection has even developed. Although this may seem caring, it often communicates that they have very little else giving their life meaning. Confidence looks different. A confident man enjoys spending time with someone, but he also values his own goals, friendships, passions, and personal growth. He doesn't disappear or ignore her. Instead, he naturally maintains balance because his identity isn't built around receiving validation. That balance creates curiosity. When a woman sees that your life is already full and meaningful, she begins to recognize that your attention carries value. You're choosing to spend time with her, not depending on her to complete you. Healthy attraction grows between two people who both have fulfilling lives of their own. Continue pursuing your ambitions, improving yourself, and building experiences that excite you. When your confidence comes from purpose rather than approval, your presence becomes far more attractive, and the connection develops from genuine interest instead of emotional dependence. Another quality that quietly strengthens attraction is the ability to inspire growth. Many people assume a successful relationship is built on agreeing with everything the other person says or avoiding every possible disagreement. In reality, meaningful relationships are built when both individuals encourage one another to become better versions of themselves. A woman doesn't simply want someone who makes life comfortable. She also appreciates a partner who has direction, values, and the confidence to live by them. A man who continually works toward his own goals naturally inspires others to pursue theirs as well. His actions become more influential than his words. This doesn't mean criticizing, controlling, or trying to change someone. Instead, it means believing in her abilities, encouraging her ambitions, and supporting her when she faces difficult decisions. Sometimes the greatest form of care is reminding someone of the potential they already possess, especially when they've forgotten it themselves. Of course, this only works if you're doing the same in your own life. Personal growth cannot be demanded from another person while ignoring your own development. Continue building discipline, improving your mindset, learning new skills, and facing challenges with courage. People are naturally drawn toward those who elevate the quality of their lives. When a woman sees that your presence motivates her to think bigger, become stronger, and pursue meaningful goals, your relationship moves beyond simple attraction. It becomes a partnership built on mutual respect, inspiration, and continuous growth, creating a connection that lasts far longer than temporary excitement ever could. Now let's examine another characteristic that quietly separates confident men from those who constantly seek approval. It isn't about having the perfect words or always knowing what to say. It's about possessing genuine self-belief. A man who understands his own value behaves differently because his confidence comes from within, not from the opinions of other people. Women naturally notice this kind of certainty. It appears in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and how calmly you handle unexpected situations. You don't need to dominate every conversation or prove you're right. Instead, you remain composed because your confidence isn't dependent on getting constant reassurance. Many men unknowingly weaken attraction by searching for validation. They overthink every text message, worry about making mistakes, or constantly seek signs that a woman likes them. That anxiety eventually shows in their behavior. In contrast, a confident man enjoys the connection but understands that his self-worth exists regardless of the outcome. This doesn't mean becoming arrogant or emotionally distant. Real confidence leaves room for humility, honesty, and personal growth. You're willing to admit mistakes, learn from experiences, and continue improving without questioning your value as a person. The strongest confidence is built through action. Challenge yourself regularly, develop meaningful skills, keep promises you make to yourself, face difficult situations instead of avoiding them. Every small victory strengthens your belief in your own abilities. When your confidence is earned through consistent growth, it becomes authentic. And that quiet certainty is one of the most attractive qualities anyone can possess. Everything we've covered leads to one important realization. Lasting attraction isn't created by trying to impress someone every moment you're together. It's built through consistency, emotional stability, and knowing exactly who you are. When a man is comfortable with himself, he naturally creates an atmosphere where others feel comfortable too. One of the biggest differences between confidence and insecurity is how each responds to uncertainty. An insecure man constantly searches for reassurance. He worries about every delayed reply, every change in tone, and every small interaction. A confident man, however, understands that he cannot control another person's choices. Instead of chasing certainty from others, he creates it within himself. This mindset changes everything. You become more relaxed during conversations, less afraid of rejection, and more willing to express yourself honestly. That authenticity is far more attractive than trying to appear perfect. Building this kind of confidence takes time. It grows through discipline, personal achievements, and overcoming challenges that strengthen your character. Every promise you keep to yourself increases your self-respect. Every obstacle you overcome reminds you that your value isn't determined by someone else's approval. When your confidence comes from your own experiences instead of outside validation, people notice. They feel your calm presence, your emotional balance, and your quiet certainty. Those qualities create trust, deepen attraction, and lay the foundation for healthier, more meaningful relationships built on mutual respect rather than emotional dependence. As we reach the end of this discussion, one truth should be clear. Genuine attraction isn't something that can be forced through clever words, expensive gifts, or constant pursuit. It grows when a man develops himself, values his own purpose, and creates an environment where trust, respect, and emotional connection naturally flourish. Remember the principles we've explored throughout this video. Be fully present when you're with someone. Listen with genuine curiosity instead of waiting for your turn to speak. Maintain a life filled with purpose, so your happiness doesn't depend on another person's attention. Encourage growth in yourself and in those around you. Above all, build the kind of confidence that comes from discipline, experience, and self-respect rather than outside approval. These habits won't simply improve your dating life. They'll strengthen every relationship you build, whether it's with friends, family, colleagues, or a future partner. People are naturally drawn to those who are emotionally secure, authentic, and consistent in both their words and actions. Most importantly, remember that healthy relationships are never about control. They're about two people choosing each other because they genuinely enjoy the connection they create together. Respect, honesty, patience, and emotional maturity will always outlast temporary attraction or superficial charm. If today's video gave you a fresh perspective or helped you understand attraction in a new way, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content on psychology, relationships, confidence, and personal growth. Also, don't miss the next video on the channel, where we'll continue exploring practical insights that can help you build stronger connections and become the best version of yourself.